Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Dante Pope, and so happy to be here. In order to get those opportunities, get those calls, get those gigs, there are some fundamental things that are a must. Number one, you must enjoy playing the drums. So if you do, everything that comes along with it should be easy, like practice, being intentional with your gear, being intentional with the heads you use, being intentional with the sticks you choose, and your overall musicianship. That joy should translate into the work it takes to be able to hit these stages. Since last year, I've become a PDP-DW artist, and in that time, I've gotten several pieces of gear. I started off with purchasing the Concept Classic with the oxblood stain and the wooden hoops. I'm sure you've seen the video before that I actually shot right here at Blue House, playing the kit and showing you what it sounded like, being freshly unboxed with the factory heads on it. Since that time, I have put the Evans black onyx heads on my toms, the Evans EMAD on the kick beater head, and have placed the Genera dry head on my snare. For me, it's a lot of warmth with those wooden hoops, but it makes the sound a lot more concentrated. It's still boomy, but it has a little bit more warmth to it, so I'm really enjoying those heads. I'm also a Domain cymbals artist. I play the R-Class series, the Saturn series, as well as the Effects series, and you'll see those cymbals here on the video. Yo! If you made it to this part of the video, that means you watched everything else or you fast forwarded. I just want to stop right now and say thank you from my home. This is where I get it in, where I figure out how I'm going to approach music that I receive for a gig. This is where I craft my own music that you may hear or stream on whatever streaming platform. This is where it all begins for most of us. It doesn't have to be so formal every time. Musicianship is another way of living. It's beyond a career. And so what I want you to do is just normalize this hobby for you, if that may be what it is, this career for you. And instead of making it just as being a musician, musicianship is a part of your humanity. I want us to reimagine that. Something that I found to be very valuable in my practicing, something that I found to be very valuable in my ability to relate with other musicians is through literature. Knowing the liner notes to a tune, knowing the discography of a specific musician or artist is important in the political world of musicianship, where in many cases we are basing your value, your knowledge, or our ability to really express ourselves on what you know, because sometimes if we don't match, it will not work. And so I've read many books over time, and then I started, I would say, playing in ensembles outside of church in the classical world. So studying classically, I had to learn piano, mallets, so timpani, xylophone, marimba, snare technique, drum set, and then was also introduced to world percussion, specifically Africa and Latin America. And so in that time, I've been able to gather literature from a bunch of different musicians that had things transcribed and just amazing teachers. I want to show you a book that I found very helpful for a long time, a book that I read really just to ground myself in the genres that I love, and then another that I've been recently introduced to through watching a masterclass by Chris Coleman that seems to just be something I could use as a system to grow in my musicianship. Number one, we have this book here, man, The Death of Rhythm and Blues. This book kind of chronicles a lot of the early rhythm and blues players transitioning out of jazz. So talking about Louis Jordan and some of the amazing artists that were working on record labels post-Prohibition. This really talks about a lot of the earlier labels, the early music structure, and the politics around the music, as well as just teaching me more about Black history, which I do love as an African American. It's good to know all history, especially your own. So this is what I'm reading now. This next book here, New Breed, Systems for Development of Your Own Creativity. This book is very cool. It's nuanced in that you have, number one, systems that are based on specific rhythms, and it helps with your sticking, really getting your coordination together, being able to really be ambidextrous on the drum kit. It is a challenging book, and it's a fun book to work out of. If you have a drum set, I think this could be something that you could include in your arsenal, so that you're not just playing aimlessly, you're actually trying to work through something. This book here, The Art of Bop Drumming by John Riley. He's a cat you can still go see play, go check him out. This book really helped me with my syncopation in getting into jazz, bebop, and those styles of music. I did not grow up playing it predominantly, but upon moving to Washington, D.C., that was the genre where the work was. And so I had a lot of work to do. And so post thinking I knew how to play, I chose to take drum lessons. So this book really helped me with learning the timing of how to comp when people play. I found myself really overplaying a lot when I got on the scene here in Washington, D.C. There are so many amazing jazz musicians, and I met a lot of jazz musicians at jam sessions. That's not the same as a gig where someone is presenting their music. And so I had to learn to reel it in. And so something I really got out of this book was different systems I could use that I would just remember from what was written in here, that I could use to begin solos, to respond or even not to respond to what soloists are doing. But this is a great book if you want to grow in your technique as a jazz musician, and I say overall drummer. Thank you all so much for watching. I will have so many more tips for you outside of what you've seen here, outside of what I've said. If you look below in the description, you will find opportunities for you to get PDFs of practice materials, also PDFs of different exercises and stretches that I do to keep myself ready to go when I get the call. Keep going, guys. Keep the groove first. Peace.